worrying about all these silos and spin-offs, is this perhaps the time to go for single payer?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You want me to repeat the question?
Yes.
The question is it the time to go for single payer?
Yes.
So let me just start with some opinion first.
What was the question?
I'm sorry, the question is it time to move the country to single payer? Meaning like a Medicare for all, Medicare for all.
Yes.
So let me say this is my opinion. There's no such thing as a perfect system, right? So there are some people that would say, boy, if we had everything was market-based and transparent, no government involvement, life would be wonderful. There's other people that say, if this was government system was all Medicare, life would be wonderful. And there's a lot of people who believe that there's some combination. But I can tell you that there's no such thing as a perfect system. There's trade-offs on all sides, and it's very much of a value statement. And what is happening and what is interesting, I observe, is the country is moving towards, I don't know that it's moving towards a consensus, but it's moving towards having that very question asked and debated publicly for the first time. And I think it's a very, very healthy thing. And I will tell you that about 40% of the public believes that some sort of Medicare for all makes sense. Now, about 30% of the public believe it when you tell them that their taxes are going to go up a lot. So there's trade-offs. And I think people who will argue against single payer will say, there's waiting lists, waiting times in Canada and so forth, and all that. So there's many nuances to the issue. Here's my point. My point is the way we typically work in our country is not by making wholesale changes like that. It's by making incremental advances. So maybe we'll see single payer in a state. Maybe we'll see single payer in a number of states. Maybe we'll see other things happen that move us in that direction. But my sense is that we will, my sense is this. If you'd asked me this question 6 months ago, I would have said, boy, that's pretty unrealistic, as much as people might like the idea. Today, I feel like if this law passed, the amount of people that would be asking for single payer might go up beyond 40%.
I like what they have, the members of Congress.
Yes.
My name is Ann Nichols. I have Canadian friends, and I don't care about wait times because, hey, at least even if they wait, they're not going to be bankrupted. In this country, it's if you don't have the money for the health insurance or for the surgery, whatever, you have to do it out. Any wait time has to be that.
Thank you, Ann. And let me just, Ann, if you couldn't hear her, you probably could. She said her preference is wait time is fairer system than a system where the system we have today. And I will tell you, we like to say in this country that we don't ration care and people don't have wait time. That's just not true. We ration it based upon income. And we like to feel better about it because no one actually is there saying no. No one's saying no. It's just that people don't get it. They just don't get it, as Jeff said.
They say no.
They walk, the government doesn't say no, but someone will walk into the ER and they'll say, sorry, we can't give you chemo, but the government can say hands clean. That's the high five and the wink. In the back.
Well, a couple of things. Number one, I've taken people to the Canadian healthcare system up in Nanaimo, Canada, when they've fallen down, we're divers, and they've fallen down in rocks and skinned an arm or something. Bang, they fix it at the clinic just like that. No charge, Hank. That's one thing. Number two, can you address the issue of the rural hospitals? I've heard an estimate somewhere between 60 and 100 rural hospitals will bankrupt under Trump care. So, and we just had one in Douglas, I believe, go.
Yes. So, two things. One was a really, really positive experience that someone that would have with the Canadian healthcare system got to take care of, no charge. Secondly, what about rural hospitals? And I should have introduced. Where's Julia? Julia Strange, who let's give her a hand. She's with the Tucson Medical Center. Julia drove us down here this morning, and she actually showed us along the way different critical access hospitals along the way, and told us stories about what happened to their economics after the ACA passed. Hospitals that had never made money, that were about to close their doors, that now started making money. And why were they making money? Because they were doing what they were put there to do, take care of people. You can't afford to lose these hospitals. And so let's just take this several $billion that leaves the state. If Medicaid goes away, where does that money disappear from? Well, that money goes from the states right to those hospitals and physicians. If that money goes away, then it'd be hard to imagine, I don't know whether the number is 60 or 100, whatever it is across the country, rural hospitals will take a huge hit. And people who live in rural communities where healthcare is more expensive and will not only lose access, but they will also face increased premiums because their premiums will now, today in the ACA, the premiums are tied to the tax credit, so if premiums go up, the tax credits go up. Under this plan, the premiums, tax credit's flat, and so in rural America where healthcare is more expensive, it'll be less affordable.